The oceans have always been a stage for power. In calm waters or violent storms, dominance is defined not by words, but by the ships that enforce order. That truth was carved into reality when U.S. naval forces intercepted Somali pirates who believed they could intimidate, hijack, and hold civilian ships hostage. This was not a negotiation or a chaotic skirmish. It was a precise, relentless demonstration of American naval power, ending in one clear outcome. The pirates outmatched, outmaneuvered, and captured. The confrontation exposed the illusion of pirate invincibility, a moment of profound humiliation for their entire network, and a reassurance for global commerce that order prevails over chaos. The stakes of this operation were enormous, triggering a dopamine anticipation for all watching. International shipping lanes off the Somali coast are the arteries of the global economy, carrying oil, food, and goods that keep lights on and hospitals supplied. A single successful pirate attack could terrorize crews, disrupt trade, and cost millions in ransom. For years, Somali piracy had been a nightmare scenario, leading to staggering insurance premiums and costly rerouting around the Cape of Good Hope. Every successful hijacking had emboldened the pirates, creating a cycle of fear and profit that seemed unstoppable. The world watched to see if the U.S. Navy could shatter that cycle and protect the system itself. The pirates' solution to their own problem of poverty was simple: fast boats, surprise attacks, and intimidation of unarmed crews. Their arsenal was not crude. When U.S. Navy boarding teams closed in, they found military-grade firepower. The weapons seized included assault rifles like AK-47s, AKMs, and Type 56 rifles, which formed the backbone of their intimidation and control. They also carried heavy machine guns such as the RPK and PKM, which transformed their skiffs into mobile fire bases capable of sustained fire. Their trump card was the RPG-7 rocket-propelled grenade launcher, a weapon that could cripple a tanker or kill naval boarding parties. Hand grenades and pistols rounded out a lethal cache, confirming that pirates were not merely opportunists, but combatants armed like infantry squads. This arsenal, often sourced from black markets in Yemen and Mogadishu, demonstrated the lethal reality that their ragged appearance often masked. The Navy's takedown was a clear signal that this raw capability could not withstand superior American force. The U.S. Navy's counter-solution was superior in every dimension. The operation began with decisive military tactics. The pirates' first move was defiance, as they refused to stop, thinking they could bluff their way out.
Before we get to that, I need your help. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I need your help. So I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and help me out.
The Navy answered this defiance with clear, controlled escalation. Helicopters sliced through the sky, their rotor blades thundering overhead, an unmistakable message: surrender or be crushed. Drones circled like watchful predators, providing total situational awareness. Every pirate movement was tracked, analyzed, and countered. They couldn't hide or maneuver. From high above, the pirates with their AK-47s looked like ants under a magnifying glass. The intermittent reward of small wins led to the final resolution. Warning shots cracked across the waves, arcing across the bow, acting as psychological tools that dared the enemy to cross a line. This controlled display of authority made the pirates fold. The final, decisive step was the deployment of the boarding teams. Fast boats surged forward with armed sailors trained for close combat at sea. Boarding a hostile vessel is a near-miss scenario, requiring speed and precision. One wrong move could have led to open fire or explosives, but the U.S. teams executed with flawless precision. They swarmed the pirate craft, secured weapons, subdued the crew, and brought the operation under control in minutes. There were no casualties among U.S. forces. It was a clean, decisive takedown, showcasing a masterclass in dominance through both firepower and total control. The tribal male-male dynamics of dominance and humiliation were then fully activated. For pirates who built their reputations on fear, Being dragged into daylight, handcuffed, and exposed was crushing humiliation. Their bravado evaporated, replaced by the cold reality of being prisoners on the wrong side of overwhelming force. They weren't legends anymore. They were captives. Cameras captured their downfall, and that imagery traveled further than their threats ever had, showing the world feared raiders brought low by the Navy's unyielding superiority. The public exposure of captured weapons, assault rifles, RPGs, and machine guns, was not a showpiece, but an unfiltered revelation of the threat that was effectively neutralized. Stripped of their arms, the pirates looked less like warriors and more like vulnerable criminals. The Navy then moved to the legal follow-up, transforming the confrontation into a precedent. The detained pirates were flown to the United States for prosecution. This was a deliberate move to send shockwaves through pirate networks, ending the revolving door of local detentions and the chance to slip free with bribes. The pirates were marched into the full weight of U.S. federal courts. A message that if you raised a weapon on the high seas, you faced the American justice system, not just a warship. This rituality of capture, followed by prosecution, reinforced the rule of law and dismantled the illusion of pirate immunity. The public nature of these trials and the circulation of their images back to their communities was a potent form of humiliation weaponized as deterrence. For local communities, the pirate was no longer the daring raider, but the shackled prisoner, a shift that cut directly into the culture of recruitment. News of imprisonment abroad eroded community tolerance and stained the networks and families associated with piracy. This psychological shift extends to the financiers and organizers, who depend on the illusion of invincibility. Arrests make their investment look unstable and risky. The takedown and subsequent exposure triggered a strategic retreat among rival Somali pirate groups. Intercepted communications revealed panic. Orders were shouted to haul the boats inland, remove the engines, and hide the fuel. This was the scarcity overload loop in action. Pirate chaos and desperation, meeting decisive U.S. competence and control. Harbors once crowded with skiffs emptied, formal anchorages were abandoned. This reflected a shift from aggression to fearful survival. The mere thought of U.S. helicopters appearing over the horizon at any moment freezes ambition. This is not a voluntary pause, but a forced retreat under the weight of overwhelming naval superiority. The lasting effects of this dominance are clear. This operation serves as one of the clearest reminders that no maritime enemy can withstand American naval power when it is fully engaged. Superior technology, professional training, and a robust legal framework converge to crush disorder and restore stability. The speed of detection, deployment, and interdiction is not just tactical, it's psychological deterrence, telling every would-be pirate that hesitation is fatal. The identity binding for the audience is complete. To know that American naval forces can project overwhelming force across oceans is to know that shipping lanes remain open, economies are stable, and the world's vital trade routes are not held hostage to lawlessness. The Navy's action is a defense of global interconnectedness. The emotional closure is the reversal of fear. Pirates once dictated terms. Now, they are paraded as criminals. The takedown crushed the idea that piracy could thrive unopposed in the 21st century. It was a warning, a promise, and a reminder carved into the waters. America commands the seas, and those who challenge that command will be exposed, humiliated, and neutralized. The oceans belong to those who can protect them, and for every adversary watching, the message is undeniable. This takedown was just the start. The fight isn't finished. On your screen is the next video. Click the video, it opens right away, and you'll see the cartels crushed even harder.